state of mind. Thoughts of God help for self-refinement. BD0638 from October 24, 1938, taken from book number 14. People do not pay attention to their spiritual state when they are in the midst of their daily worries. They go about their earthly work and are not in the least concerned about connecting with the eternal deity. They are therefore unable to establish the child's relationship with the Father, and so they remain separated from the Father in heaven as long as they are too busy with earthly activities. The simplest solution at all times would be to commend themselves to divine grace. They would then draw in such great measure, and their earthly activity would also be blessed by the Lord. Insofar as the thought of God accompanies the path of life, the earthly child is in an unutterably happy situation, for with this thought he also receives the spiritual powers which stimulate the earthly child to spiritual work and protect it from relapsing into completely earthly interests. The actual work on the soul begins when the human being only deals with the divine being in thought. When he asks the question within himself what the purpose of life on earth is and what his own relationship to the divine Creator is, then he has willingly given himself into the power of good spiritual forces, which now utilize this power and in turn use everything to keep the thoughts in the same direction. That they are constantly concerned with infinity and their Creator. Anyone who once directs his spirit in such directions will also change his own nature at the same time, for the thought of God, which is always preceded by a turning away from the earthly, will understandably result in self-refinement, which is again an influence of higher spiritual beings on the human being's mind. But the strength will only be given to the human being in all fullness when his heart has become love. When it cannot help but give love out of God consciousness, then the human being will increasingly shed his bad habits, he will spiritualize himself more and more, and the greater will be the influence of his spiritual friends on his soul. Man's endeavor is then an easy one if he willingly surrenders to this spiritual power that is well disposed towards him. What at first caused him unspeakable trouble has now become easy work for him, which he joyfully fulfills. To know what task God has assigned to man and to be able to fulfill this task wholeheartedly is in itself such proof of divine grace that gratitude for it will drive man to strive most eagerly. For to go through earthly life without knowledge molds this earthly life into difficult activity that does not satisfy the soul. As long as the connection with the Father is not found, the days lived on earth are useless for eternity. Only when love is active in man, consciously or unconsciously, does man truly begin to live on earth. The state of mind will then be a bright one, he will look at everything around him with recognition, he will give in to the subtle stirrings of the heart and seek and find inner peace in the thought of his Creator. He has recognized the sole purpose of life and now seeks to fulfill it with zeal. He only looks at everything from the point of view of this realization and willingly allows himself to be guided from above. The help sent to man by God. And his path must now lead him safely towards his eternal home and his divine Father. Amen.